2017! Welcome! Happy New Year! Wake up, Chip, it's the new year. It's 2017. It's a new year full of new possibilities. We're gonna put out Shop Till You Drop, start working on Metroid Month, find a job, and get off of Lagrange.
That's an awful lot of goals to set on a man before his morning cup of coffee. Tell you what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna take a well-earned break, relax, have my breakfast and my coffee, and not do anything involving video games or movies all day, beginning with putting on a nice, serene record to help me wind down while I sip my coffee. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Supreme relaxation.
Relax. We have 6 months on Lagrange before we're out of money. So we are going to get a sponsorship, we are going to find work, and we're going to stop lying about the produce that we buy at the self-checkout.
Oh, now you're just being cruel. Now what to do on my day off? This past year, I destroyed the reptilians, blew up a space station, banished Peanut Butter Gamer to the rift between dimensions, and journeyed to hell to form a band with Satan. Man, what a year! But what am I supposed to do if I'm not playing video games or watching movies?
You could play guitar, work on the new album.
Ugh! No! I told you, Eve, it's my day off! I'm just gonna spend it laying around, drinking coffee, and eating food. Like Garfield.
Garfield, America's favorite fat cat. Remember this smart-mouthed little feline? He's long graced the pages of the Daily Times, had nearly 40 years of books, and a huge line of merchandise that anyone who grew up in the 80s and 90s would instantly be able to identify.
I used to love whiling away the hours with my brother reading the Fat Cat 3-pack. Those were good times. You see, Garfield books are smart, like Dennis Miller rants or The New Yorker, but that doesn't really make for a very interesting RobTroid episode.
Garfield spanned the world in his popularity. Anything that you can print a face on, there he was. Coffee mugs, telephones, drinking glasses, window hanger things, and with the birth of the Atari 2600 in 1977, video games. There's a growing interest in children's books and the video game and/or film adaptations thereof recently, what with the recent bout of intrigue concerning the Bernstein Bears, and I'm going to cash in on that growing trend by talking about the ironically ignored Garfield saga. Bruno almost thinks he's so hip talking about Garfield games. Well, I'll have you know that I had the idea to do a video on it all the way back in June, see?
Now that we have that case of parallel thought out of the way, let's talk about some Garfield games.
But Chip, I thought you weren't playing games today.
Fuck it.
The first advent of a Garfield game came in the form of the aptly named Garfield for the Atari 2600. It was purported as being the largest game ever made for the system, but was ultimately never released due to the video game crash of 1983.
Which means we're stuck with playing a ROM hack of it. Let's party.
So this was the world's introduction to Garfield on home console. Oddly enough, this is pretty much what I was expecting. You play as our titular corpulent cat, hopping from fence top to fence top, eating flying hamburgers and avoiding potted plants presumably thrown by annoyed neighbors. This is actually a pretty genuine interpretation of the comic strip, as genuine as Atari can be, I suppose. A recurring gag was that of Garfield getting any number of things thrown at him during his nightly caterwauling sets. Once you reach the end of the stage, you find Nermal, who's trying to hang himself, I guess. Do I attack him? Do I jump past him? I don't know. Oh god, what happened? This is like a creepypasta come to life! After that, the game loops. There's not much more to it than that. Hard to believe that this was the biggest game ever made for the system, but I guess kids had more to do in 1984. They could go to shows, go dancing, watch Miami Vice.
That's all well and good, but this game was never released, so that would make my review completely and totally pointless. Like college! On the note of the Atari, the next game featuring Garfield was released for the Atari ST home computer in 1987.
Before Nintendo came along and dominated the home console market, Atari was the shit. So significant, in fact, that it even made an appearance in Blade Runner. Blade Runner! Remember? You can see the Atari logo as a neon sign in one of the scenes. Pretty rad. I just realized something. Blade Runner takes place in 2017. That's this year. What if this film is an omen to the imminent revival of the Atari, an augury of the ironic turn of events forthcoming? Like the phoenix rises from the charred remains of its former self, Atari will be reborn from the rubble of Nintendo's fallen empire and rule the video game market with an iron fist! Oh wait, this movie takes place in 2019. Never mind, you guys. I guess we got a couple years before Atari comes back to life. Sorry.
The next title is Garfield Big Fat Hairy Deal, which was released also for the Atari ST, ZX Spectrum, Amiga, Amstrad CPC, and Commodore 64.
These is what were commonly called computers, kids. Nowadays, you got your Mac and you got your PC. You also got Linux, but nobody really cares about that.
But back in the olden days, you had 1,000 different computers to choose from. ZX Spectrum, IBM 5150, which has nothing to do with Van Halen, I looked it up, and of course, the Atari ST.
Nintendo even had their own personal computer that worked as a disc-based add-on for the Famicom, the Family Computer Disk System, which is actually where the word Famicom comes from, being a portmanteau of family and computer. Ha! Thank you, Wikipedia.
Maybe we'll talk about that another time, but for now, let's delve into the simplicity of 80s computer gaming. None of these high-definition graphics cards, 4K resolution monitors, or overclocking, nah. Just simple, straightforward, easy gaming.
Okay, step 1, download Atari ST emulator. I'm doing pretty good so far. That's kind of a lot of steps just to get a 30-year-old computer emulator to work. Okay, create a folder named Steam, then create a folder named C drive, which is where we'll put the disk images. Wait, what's a disk image? Extract the TOS into the A drive. Xlib library to support Atari Python UI window embedding on systems with the X Windows. Drive A is not responding correctly. No. Of course not. Why would it be? It's not like this is a 2-year-old custom machine. Type help for built-in commands. Help! Oh God! Control, file not found. Garfield, file not found. Play Garfield, please, file not found. Eat shit! Okay, I think I got it to work. Yeah, I did it! I'm playing some Garfield! 10 out of 10, hashtag bring Atari back. You know, I'm a pretty bright guy, but goddamn, when it comes to getting old tech to work, I'm simply up the creek without a paddle. I was able to dig up an old instruction booklet for the game which details the controls, but since this game was released on multiple platforms, the controls aren't universal, which is frustrating to say the least, and they're meant to be used in tandem with a joystick as opposed to a keyboard and mouse. This was before mice were invented. I mean, so far the graphics are appealing, and I managed to figure out how to jump, move around, and pick up items, but in terms of actually progressing, I'll have to figure out a way to map the joystick controls to the mouse, which isn't fun for anyone.
So the only logical step is to say, fuck it, next game.
Considering the luck I've had trying to get these emulators to work, let's shift gears beyond the Atari library and delve into more familiar territory with A Week of Garfield for the Famicom.
All we got to do is track down a copy. Let's rock!
Whoa, little expensive. It's about a week's worth of groceries.
So do I want to not eat, or do I want to go without a 30-year-old game about a wisecracking lasagna-eating cat? Garfield!
Just kidding, you guys, I can't afford it. We'll stick with the Atari. This episode is now named Garfield Atari Games. We're gonna stick with Atari because it's cheaper. Garfield Atari Games. Garfield Guitar Solo? No, Garfield Atari Games. Maybe Garfield Guitar Solo.
Let's keep this New Year's party going in full swing with Garfield Winter's Tale.
Garfield has fallen asleep in his bed in front of an open refrigerator, dreaming about having an adventure in northern Italy and the Swiss Alps, in which his quest is to find a lasagna factory and the chocolate egg-laying chicken.
I wish I ejaculated chocolate.
I'm getting pretty good at this whole emulation thing. Just unzip the files and there, haha, play. How do I exit out?
Well, damn!
You think you can best me, Atari ST emulator? Well, two can play at this game. The joke's on you. Ha! Ah, god damn it!
So that was Garfield for the Atari, and I have to say, playing all those games definitely made me relax and feel more refreshed. And hey, I think I might even be ready to say my New Year's resolution. This year, I resolved to lose weight and start exercising. Wait a minute, what am I saying? I must be going wacka wacka! I'm not going to diet, and I'm not going to exercise! I'm fat, I'm lazy, and I'm proud of it!
Hey Eve, where's Chip?
He ate the buffet and went to bed.
Hey kids, Happy New Year. Thank you for watching my video. If you're wondering why my voice sounds weird, I'm actually recovering from the flu right now, and today was the first day that I felt well enough to actually get dressed up and film this episode, which is great because it was actually a very short episode to do. So I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to comment, rate, which doesn't exist anymore, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. I don't know what I want to do next, so post some suggestions down below for what you want me to do. Okay, bye guys, take care.